on Oregon. I'm curious to see if both teams are okay with that this time around, but for now, it's going to be Team One taking Carl off the floors as he's now banned out.
And as he types in chat, I could only play that up, and his own team did it against him. You didn't get to see it, but Nath typed in chat, Twitch again? And it sure seems like that's the case. So Flores and Twitch are gone. This means that we will see one of the rare instances of a Thatcher being up for a competitive map. Now, Valkyrie's removed. That was an operator that was available. So we've flipped a lot of these on their heads. What will be the last one? Probably not a Kaid. So are we going to expect a Mira ban to follow? That seems like the most sensible solution.
Yeah, Mira would make a lot of sense here.
It's oNe.
It's oNe. Okay, so we actually have a Thatcher being open, which makes it attacker favored. Then Mira being open, which makes two of the bomb sites defender favored. That's reading, and it's the top floor bomb site. Mira doesn't really change basement at all. But what this will mean in technicalities is that, or theoreticals, is that you need to be extending out on the map when you're playing on the defense. The Thatcher will just tear right through every single bomb site. If you think you can hide behind a shield, you're wrong. If you think you can mute jammer a wall, you're wrong. And that's going to be a very different way of playing Kafe than what we're used to seeing, because normally the Thatcher isn't available.
What are the win conditions for Team One on this map? And I want to start with them because they are the team that is currently staring down defeat. Team One starting off 0-2 in their group is not ideal, and especially not ideal given the fact that there was a cryptic tweet put out by Ali Mao that said The Last Dance, and it was a picture of their roster. Now, if anybody knows what The Last Dance signifies, it means the last opportunity for everybody to be together and your real last hurrah. Now, we're not going to read into that too much, but it sure seems like the way that the tweet was leading was, this is our last time, this is our last opportunity. If that's the case, what do you need to do as Team One to ensure that you do not end up going home from groups early? What do you do to guarantee you win Kafe?
The absolute simplest form, you gotta have fun. Honestly, if you're not having fun, the vibes are down, that is a terrible way to go out on your quote-unquote last dance. But outside of that, I think Team One needs to get a little bit more active. They were not playing super active on the map of Oregon. When they were on their basement defense, there was little to no roam presence at all. Not stalling NAVI, not slowing them down, not killing almost any drones at all. And when you're playing with the Thatcher open, if you're gonna be hiding like that on the bomb side and not extending up and above and out on the map, you're going to have a really bad time if you're Team One or anyone in that particular instance. So, on the defense of Team One, get active, get out there, get in Navi's face. They have the gun skill to do it, they just have to be willing to actually get there. It's actually a mining defense first round, by the way.
I'm not letting you call it basement anymore, by the way. It's the first floor. First floor, second floor, third floor. You're going to have to settle in, okay? I know you need...
For 7 years
You need to acclimate, my friend.
Acclimate.
That said, you're absolutely correct. This is not the usual bomb site that teams would like to start off on. We'll see Cocktail from time to time. We'll see a reading. We might even see Kitchen on that bottom floor. So what are your immediate thoughts? A minute in, we've got some time to kill. How do you approach this as NAVI?
If you're NAVI, well, first of all, the one thing is that you're not going to be super used to this bomb site, but I think they got a good start so far. They're taking piano, they want to work this pixel shield. Once they've cleared it out, there it is, Nate beautifully lands. Now they got to clear bathroom. They got to eliminate that bathroom player inside of top floor, and then they got to start working the piano hatch and the vertical play, and then you can attack mining if that's what you want to do. I think that's the safest, most comfortable, and clear-cut way of approaching this, and right now, they got the time for it. They still got half the round, but they don't have Doki. That's the lethal entry and Maverick off the board, plus the grenades. KDS finds the opening kill.
Oh, and a nice play by Saves on Repel, but Levi is ready for it. Blur's a bit drunk inside a Cocktail, as one will usually do when those words are paired together, but it's KDS to chop him down, size him up, and that is it for Navi's entry. Secretly's the next one up in line, but he's going to spray wildly with that bearing. Recoil control basically non-existent on that gun. Navi trailing early, not the start that they want on the map that they chose, down in a 2v4 with a minute still left. Secretly holding on to the diffuser, so that's good. Case control is there for the attackers, but that means that Nath will have to just do Overwatch, sit there and stare intently as Secretly goes for the plant. That means, hey, enjoy your 1v4.
1v4s are always fun if you're on the winning end of them, but if you're losing those, of course, nobody likes losing. Secretly trying to get cheeky here, sidestep down the white stairs, see if he can maneuver around Neskin. They're kind of dancing right now, but they failed to clear out the bathroom player. It punished them, and now Secretly gets punished right back. That's Neskin with the shotgun.
At that point, it's more of an act of desperation, and I'm sure both Secretly and Nath know. You mentioned it on Oregon, where you lose too early and you say, okay, that's a recoup, we'll go next. Pokeball's tossed out to Nath. The impact grenade sailing by his head, doing some damage. He'll bait for kills, but all of these will be completely impactless because with 10 seconds left, a 1v4 is just not doable, especially if you're not in the building. Team 1 knows this. They'll exhibit some great patience, and Neskin pops up as Nath swings the window, and Team 1 take round 1.
Very nicely done, and it's kind of telling the same tale of how Oregon almost ended, where Team 1 kind of had the advantage. They kind of were finding rounds. Now we're going to Kafe, and yeah, they're starting off early, kind of where they left off on the previous map of Oregon. It's well done for them, but it's also Kafe defense, and NAVI actually did not bring the Thatcher in play on that last round, so we didn't see the effects of it. But I'll also argue that on the mining bomb site in particular, the Thatcher doesn't have the greatest of impacts. It's much more effective for the top floor, the reading, and the basement bomb site, where you commonly see the mute jammers, the kite claws, and the shield setup really mattering so much. But the problem for NAVI in the previous round was that bathroom player. He didn't have almost any backup. The shield got cleared almost instantly, but they still failed to clear him out. They didn't use the Ivana's Heartbeats gadget onto the bathroom wall. They just kind of walked in. Doki was the first to fall, and then it snowballed. KDS got 2 kills, and then just ran away. They said, you know what, we got what we wanted. Now we can play on side 2 versus 4. The round should be over in our favor, and now they're going to the basement instead.
Sorry, what did you call it?
This is the actual basement, I swear. I promise.
Like first floor.
No,
It's the first floor.
But it's not. It's not the first. It's not the ground floor.
Sorry, we
either.
just ground floor. It is the ground floor, and you know why? Because it connects with the ground.
Yeah, that's what the basement.
Basement is beneath. There is no stairwell down, Nick. You walk in the front door, and what are you on? You're on the ground floor.
I was raised in apartments. We only had. Okay, there was no basement there.
We will agree to disagree.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I will try my hardest.
It's come up a couple times when Europeans have casted with North Americans. North Americans will say, oh, it's the first floor. Oh, it's the ground floor. And then North Americans will say that. Europeans will turn around and be like, oh, no, it's the basement.
I will try my very hardest, but I cannot promise any success.
Well, I appreciate that. I think both those teams said the same thing going into this matchup. We will try our hardest, but we cannot guarantee any success. So here we are.
We have tried their very hardest, and both teams have found success to a degree, but so far, NAVI, they're one map up.
For fans of Latin America, it was obviously not what you wanted, as the comeback from Team 1 fell just short, but the first round going in their favor. Team 1 round 1, why not? You're in much better position. This time, a take on to Kitchen is going to function a little bit differently, and I do have to wonder if the fact that mining was the very first bomb site, if that played into the fact that NAVI were not the most prepared. They struggled to take Cocktail, they struggled to take Piano, they struggled on Whitehall, and when Doki got cut down to size, that really did hurt their ability to execute, as NAVI never grabbed control of that third floor. Now, they need to grab the second floor, because as you can see, Team 1 have a considerable investment upstairs right now, playing off of those kill holes. And on the hunt is going to be the sledge of Blur, but there's a doorway in his way that is currently barricaded. He'll have to fight through that. He goes all the way down instead, and he'll have a line of sight towards the A-bomb chassis.
And now we're doing a good job making sure to everybody go Baker together, ensure the wall gets breached, and afterwards we'll have to worry about people on that second floor location. So far, they haven't really invested much above. NAVI seeming to actually not want to go above at all. Maybe they're just going to flush the side through Red Hole instead, because right now they got vertical holes staring them in the face. That's going to cut them from going for a straight bakery attack. Blur looking to get active, looking to get a bit cheeky. They drone out the Yokai drone. Red Pink comes out, but there's no activation yet on the side of NAVI.
Oh, and just a missed opportunity.
Zero
He doesn't land a single shot. That's going to haunt Blur, as I don't think he's aware of how little damage he did. Doki now taking up space inside of Prep, though. He reads that there's an opportunity on in. The Yokai drone will spot him, so he'll hug the wall. Right next to Saves, and a toxic canister goes out. They both have to get out of there. Flushed out to the kill hole. Lagonis with one LMO starts the fun. 2 members of NAVI down for the count. A third will follow in secretly. Again, NAVI fighting from behind. Case control as KDS lords over it through those kill holes, and he has a line of sight for a potential kill onto Saves. Nath dropped by LMO, and Team 1 are so dominant through these 2 rounds. Saves in a clutch order. for kick scenario with 20 seconds left right now inside of Small Bakery, and he's going to ponder his own existence. Where do you go? What do you do? At this point, allow your team to maybe recover and recoup as you go for an impactless kill. All of Team 1 will fight for the final player, and it's Lagonis to get it. Team 1 up 2-0 on a triumphant start on Kafe, and that is the motivation that they needed to get themselves mentally back into this match.
Yeah, KD denied for saves, doesn't get a kill that round at the end of that 1 versus 4, and this is Team 1 getting active. We kind of spoke about what they should be doing, and they are doing exactly that. They're extending up on second floor on that first floor defense. Previously, when they're playing mining on second floor bomb site, they went up third floor inside a bathroom, and they're basically challenging NAVI, giving them problems they have to solve. And to be honest, NAVI, they looked really, really good in Oregon. They were beautifully picking apart the bomb sites when they were on attack. They were finding interkill after interkill, and Dogi in particular had really good success on both defense and attack. And so far, NAVI has had a very simplistic approach to both of these attacking rounds, and neither of those, of course, have seen success. And I think there's a good reasoning for that. They looked, so previous round on basement attack, they all went bakery, great. They breached the wall together, ensured nobody died, the flanks were held, amazing. After that, they went onto the mining balcony outside on second floor, and they droned it out. They saw the presence of Team 1. Then they said, we don't care. We're just gonna go back to the first floor and then die. Where in a perfect world, you want to clear out the second floor so that the verticality becomes useless, and then you want to go back downstairs and then attack the bomb site. But they went for a simple approach, and simple is sometimes better, but it's not always better.
I mean, if you're a fan of another FPS, simple is almost perfect, so...
Simple is almost always.
Speaking of NAVI, by the way...
Oh, yeah. True. This round, by the way, sorry to cut you off, on this round, we're gonna see the effect of Thatcher. It's the first round that's being brought out. It's the first time we see a Kai that's paired with the mirror inside a bathroom. So keep an eye on Doki and how he uses his EMPs.
A good opportunity here. Thatcher has been used very infrequently so far in this tournament. Most games, Thatcher is ending up banned, which is unsurprising because of the potency of those EMPs. Unlike certain hard breachers, where your other operators can carry that secondary hard breach gadget, there is no secondary EMP, no pocket EMPs. You do have Kali as an alternative, and you also have Twitch for that Twitch drone to do some work, but those are not exact surrogates. Those are alternatives. They are not replacements. First bit of action comes from NAVI, softening up Neskin, and now Elimao is down. This is something that NAVI has struggled with in the previous 2 rounds. Team 1 leading off with the killing, and NAVI will tee off this time, taking down the castle.
That is also the first opening kill for NAVI in this map so far, and Blur follows it up before Lagonis trades it back onto Secretly. That's the Hibana off the board, and honestly, as your only hard breacher, now it kind of renders the Thatcher almost useless. Sure, you can still deal with the Jaeger ADSs, but this mirror window setup with the Kai Claw can now not be cleared. NAVI needs a second way around this bomb site because this attack is no longer gonna work.
Well, I mean, you wanted to see the Thatcher, and I feel like you willed it into existence, talking about how important the Thatcher could be, and then guess what? Not really all that important. I mean, I'm sure those 3 EMPs from Doki will still be crucial to some extent, but certainly not for opening up any of the walls that you'd want. And with the mirror setup right now, both mirror windows inside a bathroom, you want that Thatcher to take some of that piano wall, open up the wall, open up backup bar, open up bathroom. That is your priority. That is obviously not going to happen now with Secretly in the grave.
That is not going to happen at all, and that's what I said. Now he needs a different way around this bomb site, and so far they're doing just that. Rotating to that east side rappel, with only 1 player inside of Cigar Lounge and last player on the skylight. This is good. They can drop the skylight, push Cigar, rabble in the building, and that will have to be the approach, and it looks to be that they read the same situation as I.
Oh, a nice roam in, or a nice crush in, but Levy just stops them in their tracks. 3 kills for Levi. Lagonis finds saves, and NAVI, despite having the advantage, are done for. Lagonis picks up 2, Levi with 2. The rappel in onto Heaven Window ends up leading them to hell at the hands of Levi. And as much as NAVI wanted a potential first round, they're going to have to wait a little while longer. Team 1 have the start that they're looking for as they're up 3-0.
Yeah, that one is gonna suck if you're NAVI. 2 opening kills. They got a nade and they got the shot. Yes, Lagonis got a C4 kill to trade it back. And honestly, the only person that NAVI could not lose would be the Hibana. And guess what? The only person they lost in that early round stage was the Hibana. Even if the Thatcher had died off, you can use your grenade to try and clear the Claw, but you cannot do anything without the Hibana because it's the only hard breach at your disposal. And this is why contingencies are a good thing. I mean, we saw Sonics play triple Heart Breach. Imagine Navi had brought triple Heart Breach and Thatcher. They could breach any wall at any given moment if somebody died.
Ace does not seem to be an operator that Navi likes to bring from all that we've seen, but bringing an Ace and a Hibana seems like it's so simple for that particular bomb site. You can tackle Cocktail, you can tackle any potential roam, you can tackle that piano wall, you can tackle the wall leading to Ticket Booth at the top of red. You don't have a ton of hard breach potential with Hibana because to open up a hole that allows you to walk through, you almost always have to use 2 rounds of Rex Kairos. That leaves just 6 pellets left, which isn't good enough for a kill hole or for a line of sight. It's also enough if you just use 2 of them to take out a mirror window. But if you want clear passage, if you want to take out 3 of those walls inside a piano, top of red, leading to the bomb, leading into the bathroom, you're going to need more than 1 hard breacher. Navi decided, let's just go for 1. Insurance is a great word for it. There was no follow-up for Navi. Out of all of the operators to die first, the worst one went. Secretly is going to call from the bench, but you have no hard breach potential, and that effectively means you funnel through the doorways or the soft walls that have been opened up by the defenders. They have the advantage. They have the information. They know where you're coming from, and that's exactly what happened in the previous round.
It is, and the only tricky part about the double hard breach on Kafe is, you kind of talked about it earlier on Oregon with the Valkyrie, for example, is that you're not bringing any soft breach, and that's the issue. You're not really bringing any projectiles either. Sure, Hibana has the flashbangs, but Ace doesn't have any throwable outside the gadget in itself, and of course, that gadget shouldn't be tossed into an ADS, but rather to breach a wall. Doki, 0-3 here on the injury, haven't found any success just yet, but he was such a crucial player on Oregon, so he has to start getting active soon. Levi using these yokai drones, they know exactly what Navi is up to, but Navi does not know that they know what they're up to. Of course, Lagone is all the way downstairs in that first floor. He also brought out the pulse scanner, so they're really going to be able to play around the information, and C4s could also be quite lethal on this floorboard.
What did you just say? I'm sorry, it seems like you just said C4s are particularly lethal. And boom goes the dynamite.
6-0, by the way, on Lagonis.
Doki was the first to die on this same floor back in round number 1. It was a mining defense. This time around, Team 1 are going over to reading. They're going to hold that same middle bomb site inside a dining or fireplace, depending on what you personally want to call it. But losing Doki early, again, not ideal. In the previous round, you lost the Hibana. You still kept the Thatcher. This time, you lose the Thatcher, you still have the Hibana. So if you look at an operator with denial, which there actually isn't any for Team 1, and that's okay, but if there was any denial, that could be a mortal and fatal blow, losing Doki early.
Yeah, and this is a tough part because Doki is the entry of Navi, but now he's on that flex-ish position of Thatcher, and Saves now becomes the entry instead, finds the Gonus with that nade, 6-0 off the bot, now make that 6-1. Saves finds a second, he's now on side, but where's the follow-up? Where's the help?
This is an absolute frenzy, but Neskin holding down the spot, takes out yet another, leaving Saves to try and do what he can, but he gets out-dueled by Levi. 1 or 2 of these rounds. This is your map, I would like to remind you. We live in this bizarro world over yesterday and today where teams share so many similarities in map pool that your map does not really exist, right? I mean, there are certain teams that have very weak maps, and the way that a best-of-3 ban system works, you are almost always going to play on a map that you may not be strong on. Now, when you have a team like Team 1 or you have a team like NAVI, they frequently play most of the maps in the map pool, so you don't have to worry too much about something being exposed. You don't make it to top 20 in the world by only playing the same 2 maps, so there's going to be competitiveness no matter where you are. But to have NAVI demolish Team 1 on their map, and now Team 1 returning the favor on Navi's map is fascinating. This means that our third map, Villa, has become exceedingly likely. When we started out here on Kafe, it certainly didn't seem like we were going to need a third map, but now it is very much on the menu. Navi taking that time out, they're going to settle their nerves down, maybe try to find something, because you've got 3 players with 1 kill, 1 player with 0 kills. That is dreadful as we head into round number 5. It means that strategically, you are not doing particularly well. Your strategy and the depth of that is not sound, but more importantly, you are just not winning your duels. In your heads-up gunfights, they are losing almost every time to Team 1. Given that Team 1 struggled yesterday against Damwon Kia to spawn in and win their gunfights, it's nice to see Team 1 bounce back.
Yeah, Navi only having 1 opening kill in 4 rounds so far. Starting up on 5th map, it would be a nice way for them to see to get another one, make that 2 opening kills, and then maybe work with that. If they can convert that opening kill into a round win, that is essentially the way forward. Losing that opening pick, however, would be really dire for them, both for their gameplay itself, but their mental, right? They've lost the Thatcher, they've lost the Hibana. It's been really frustrating to be Navi right now. They need a win somewhere on the map, and I'm not just talking a kill or 2, I'm talking a full-on round. Doki in particular has to start getting active on the scoreboard. Going 0-4, I know it sucks, it happens to everybody, but Doki is such a crucial player for NAVI, and right now, he's just on Thatcher duty, doing, well, Thatcher things, which isn't super impactful right now because Team 1, they're not heavily playing around the wall denies most of these rounds.
Well, immediately taking that top floor and now trying to translate that to the second. Blur smashing open the floor. One member of Team 1 was seen for a moment, but then disappears as Blur turns his attention elsewhere and will continue to wreak havoc on that wooden floor, absolutely destroying it in the process. Trying to be quick to the punch is Navi, maybe getting the hatch down, but secretly sees that it's already been opened up very conveniently. Over half of the round to go. This one has absolutely flown by. And Navi are going to have to confront a very different defense from Team 1. They're not stacked up inside a bakery. They're not using their utility there. Most of Team 1 are towards the back of the bomb site, which means Freezer and playing inside a VIP. You saw the deployable shield there being watched by KDS. He's got a Nitro Cell in hand, and he can withstand just about anything as Warden.
No, certainly, and this is very well done by Team 1. They're extending both to the bakery side and VIP, where we're seeing the likes of KDS on that Warden. Warden in this particular position, very important because you cannot get flashbang, but no one is safe for explosives. Saves peaks with a grenade in his hand, and it works.
Oh my goodness, this is just a calamitously poor timing from Team 1 as Navi catches 2 of the players with their pants down. A third now as Neskin looks in the wrong direction. Lagonas falters, he falls, and Levi, as a 4-0 player with Echo, will have to deal some damage long range. Gets swung by both, and it saves credited with the very final kill. Navi capitalizes off of some mistiming from Team 1, and they finally get their first round.
I mean, the fact that a flawless round opens up with Saves walking down the brown staircase with a grenade in his hand, tosses it between the legs of Alemo, blows him up, and that leads to a flawless round 20 seconds later. I think Navi should start the third map with a tactical timeout. Just, you know, talk about the game, figure it out, go in, be explosive, and then play off of that. That was exactly what Navi needed. They had a beautiful round from beginning to end, and yeah, sure, every single gunfight went in their favor, but you can't always be on the losing side of these things, and even Doki is now on the board. We got a 5 versus 5 on our hands, and that is what Navi needs to have a chance to bring it back.
You need some kind of motivation, right?
Yeah, you do.
Doki's going to stay on that Thatcher, and this is the final attempt for Navi to work out a hard breach and Thatcher combo. I say this because Doki dies first or secretly dies first. That's what happened in those 2 rounds when the Thatcher was reunited with a hard breacher. It sounds like we might be getting a rehost. I'm waiting to hear on confirmation from this.
Yes, we are getting a
it sounds like we will be getting one. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but the teams will slowly trickle out. And this actually, I would say this actually benefits Navi quite a lot.
Second timeout almost.
It's effectively a tickle the inside of your ears. It had that kind of sound, and I thought, oh no, tell me it was not fixed, but it seems to be fixed. Teams have to go to the same bomb site. They have to bring the same operators, by the way. So you're going to go back upstairs to Cocktail and do a very similar setup. The reinforcements from Team 1 looked to mimic what we saw from their previous Cocktail defense. Stack up bodies by bathroom in back bar. Once again, use the electric claws to try and force out an EMP onto those mirror windows inside a bathroom, and then the one as well that looks towards the doorway to New Hatch. We'll see if that's exactly how it unfolds and how Navi is going to tackle it.
Yeah, Alemo 6-picking the castle like he did previously, like he had to. And this further enforces this position. They're going to be barricading the south window of Piano, likely the white hallway window or the door into bathroom to further enhance his position. There it is. That's the white hallway window castle barricaded. Do we get the bathroom door as well? Yes, there it is. 2 for 2, make that 3 for 3 now. And then he has a 4th one in his pocket. That can go in double door cigar. It can go in a 4th window. It doesn't really matter. But those 3 castle barricades are the primary, most important ones to basically enable this site setup. And Team 1 heavily investing into this. Now, if you're Navi, you can do two things. You did bring the buck. You could go for a vertical take, go into library reading, do vertical play with the buck up through the floor into cocktail. Or you can do what you tried the previous time around and go for that direct attack with the Thatcher, with the Hibana. You know, take care of the kite claws, break the castle barricades, breach the wall, and then progress from there.
Well said, and the castle barricades weren't really an issue for Navi last time either. Their stumbles came from their inability to take control of Cigar, and once you command that part of the map, you can then push forward. If you don't get White Stairs, if you don't get White Hall, if you don't get Cigar or Piano, you are in grave danger because there are very limited ways to attack this bomb site outside of that, unless you try to go up Red Stairs. But then again, you're going to run headfirst into Cigar and Piano, which right now is littered with barbed wire and it's being watched by the Mira of Lagonis inside a bathroom.
Team 1 has actually surrendered a Cigar right now. There's no one playing that far up, so once Navi figures this out, they can actually start taking map control. Levi is playing like below, on the floor below them, so he's not actually nearby at all, and I think Navi now sees this. They walk on in, and now they've gotten the first step, that is Cigar control.
Wonder if there's a pre-play C4, a Nitro Cell waiting for that new hatch drop, because there goes the first EMP. Secretly has not died, so the hard breach is still up.
Great.
That should take care of the Electric Claw on the mirror window. They'll have a brief window of time to remove that black mirror, and it sure sounds like they just accomplished that. The last time that Navi attacked this bomb site, they decided to go through the window that led to the new balcony. The problem was when they went for Heaven, there was a Kaid down below watching that. Well, guess who's down there again? Levi is back down in that same position. His attention is on the other side of the map, though. He's looking towards Train. Lagonis softened up, and he'll have to drop through the hatch as it's a successful job from Navi to open up that bathroom wall. Team 1 are going to completely vacate the southern part of the bomb site and the eastern part of the bomb site as well, dropping down. Ali Mal leads off the killing onto Secretly, but the Hibana at least opened things up before losing the gadgetry. Grenades sail in with 30 seconds to go. Navi looking to tie up as quickly as they can, but they're incapable at the moment, and they will trail with Lagonis being on such short HP. 25 seconds. That's the time you have to work with. And nobody wants to give a single inch. Look at this. They're just sitting there. You have to have some level of urgency. Trying to control the stairway. Navi will watch them get back into the bomb site, but Team 1 sweep right through and take the final round of their defense flawlessly. Again, another flawless round. The teams will switch sides, but this is an exact mirror image to what we saw in Oregon. Navi was up 5-1 at that first half. Now it's Team 1 up 5-1 on the second map.
Yeah, the roles are definitely reversed because Team 1 looked in very, very lost, as you said, in the first side of Oregon. Now Navi is like the third attacking round out of 6, where I'm like, what exactly is going on and what was the purpose of that round? You get Cigar for free. Team 1 says, you know what, you can have it, we don't care anymore, we're gonna run away. Then after 30 seconds, Navi realizes, like, oh, you gave us Cigar, thank you, let me just open it up. Okay, present, nice, we're in there. And then they stall. They didn't move an inch for 45, 60 seconds straight. And actually, it was Team 1 who kind of ran into them from the defensive side and took back the ground that Navi had tried to get the entire time. It doesn't make any sense at all. But now, Navi, they don't have to fight for the ground the same way anymore. Now on the defensive side, they just have to try and hold it. But that's no easy task, especially with Thatcher open, when no Team 1 can play the Monty. They showed it, then they 6-picked off it. This basically signifies Team 1 have many different ways of approaching this kind of map, and they can both do the Thatcher, without the Thatcher, the Monty, without the Monty, and they're actually bringing 2 Heart Breachers. Yes, one is a throwable in the Ace from Lagonis, one is the grenades on Maverick on Neskin, so they have kind of an insurance plan going on. If one guy falls, they do have the other, and as long as there's no mirror from the side of Navi, they could Maverick these walls as well.
So, a timeout was taken by Navi, by the way. We're keeping track of who's taken timeouts where. Navi took one in map number 1, and they've done so in map number 2. None taken from Team 1 just yet. And why bother on this map in particular? You are so far ahead. You don't want Navi to get back in this matchup. It looked like Navi was going to pummel Team 1 and carry on to Kafe really well when that first half on Oregon finished. The thing is that we ended up witnessing a very defender-sided Oregon. Could we see the same thing happening here on Kafe? My spidey senses suggest that is the case.
I think you're very right, Parker, honestly. And so far, it's going to be a bit of a slow round. I think it's a great way to open it up. Team 1 can kind of feel out NAVI on their defensive side. We actually see Sage bring out a Bandit, which is usually due to the fact that Thatcher is open. Of course, Team 1, they're responding back not only with the Maverick on Neskin, but they're also doing a full roam clear from top down, which means there will be chaos from above verticality. They only have the Bog on a limo, no sledge available. NAVI with a soft roam, about to drop back here at that 1 minute 10 second-ish mark. Blur gonna stick around for a little bit longer, maybe try and kill a Jonah too, but it's gonna be about half the round, give or take, and then it's gonna be vertical play, execute, and chaos. KD is now walking down the wide stairs. They have now been granted full map control besides that first floor, aka the bomb site itself. Team 1 can now hold the flanks, start setting up those air jabs from Levi, making sure that nobody can walk up those red stairs, Doki, and then do the vertical play.
It was a little clear of the throat right there, Doki. Doki. By the way, we have cough buttons, so if we ever need to do that, we can mute ourselves. So if he didn't mute himself, you know, it was very deliberate for those.
Or I'm just an amateur.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. What was the operator, by the way, that I spoke about earlier on that is now being brought out?
I touched upon it because you pointed out, I was like, you know what, Parker? Maybe you are a genius.
I don't think I'm a genius. I just think I've watched an extraordinary amount of Rainbow Six Siege and try to keep my mind as fresh as possible. So
you're still not as smart as Reddit analysts, though. So
yes, of course. Still got one of course. Yeah, that is correct. Mickey Caster, as they would call it. Nath with the very first kill. He takes the gunfight to KDS and wins that one, walking away quite well. The Yana down, but one of the nades from Yana have been tossed out at the last second, so not all hope is lost. You still had some utility. Secretly doesn't have a deployable shield in front of him inside a VIP, but he does have 2 ADSs that'll be able to eat the projectiles or thrown gadgets that go his way. 20 seconds left. Levi is next to falter, and it does indeed see like a defensive showcase between these teams as a strong start for NAVI is dominating their first defense. Doki will reascend and just misses out, gets the kill on the Levi before being knocked ass over Tea Kettle with that air jab. In bursts Team 1, but they're shut down. Alimau is next. Beautiful shots on his end, but guess what? There's no time. Blur with a final 2-piece to end the round, and NAVI is still very much in this. They pick up their very first round on defense.
I mean, I did cough the Doki word sneaking up the red stair because he did. He actually got the kill onto Levi with like a hip fire at the very last bullet as he got air jabbed into the wall. Quite lucky for Doki, but ultimately, I don't think it would have mattered too much in the grand scheme of things, seeing as NAVI had that round under lock and key. Alemo had a beautiful entry here, finding both Secretly and Nath, but it wasn't enough. Blur was there to shut it down, got 2 of his own, and that's the second round on the board for NAVI. Now, basement is locked. Where do you go next? Currently, we're showing a reading fireplace situation with Doki being the flex player on Kafe, going from the Kaid onto the castle. So he's doing Thatcher Finks on attack, now Kaid Castle. This is a little bit different for Doki than what I was expecting, but honestly, if this is what they need to make this work, I am all for it. And as long as Doki can stay in this game on these operators, I think it's just right for them. Blur, signature Frost operator. We saw that with great success on Oregon. Alemo specifically walked into that trap. I want to see if Blur can do that one more time as well. Sage bringing out the mute. That's going to help you with the walls. I'm pretty sure NAVI figured out that Team 1 was not bringing out that Thatcher previously. So now the mute comes into great effect and there's no easy way to clear them out. Had to be grenaded or shot with your weapons. But lines of sight on this map are limited. You're seeing them reinforcing off bathroom with 3 walls. Castle barricades going out. Frost trap behind the couch. This is going to be a nightmare if you're going to be Team 1 inside of Piano. There is so much utility in your face. And remember, once you've cleared all of that out, the bomb site isn't even up above. It's down below on second floor inside of reading.
As we always say, you clear top down. So in this case on Cocktail, in this case you want to clear out Cocktail first before then looking towards that middle floor. NAVI had struggles taking control of the top floor on their executes. Will Team 1 be more proficient? They are bringing a very similar operator lineup, but they're only bringing 1 hard breacher in the Maverick. That is a bit puzzling because Maverick needs to be very close. And if Maverick gets incredibly close and there's a toxic canister, somebody swings with a shotgun, shotgun or a nitrocell gets tossed out, as we see NAVI doing quite regularly in their matches, then Maverick might be a little bit too vulnerable. It's a big reason why, with the exception of the bottom floor, a lot of teams don't like running Thermite on this map, because there are too many angles at which you can be swung on, aka dying on, or losing your exothermic charge on.
So, as I said, so smart. Secretly opening kill to Lagonis, Blur very low on health, Nave slowing down the push here from Team 1 with those toxic babes and the shotgun, but Levi has something to say about that, takes down Doki, has the castle off the board, and train control granted to Team 1.
Neskin will follow up with a kill onto Blur, and Na'Vi will now trail. They are not sitting against match point just yet, but they are close, and it will get even closer as Team 1 can taste victory. They burned half of the round away and found the kills onto 3 players from Na'Vi. Still 2 more to go. Staying power from Nath with a single toxic canister left, as Saves is also still alive. Off site is Nath on that smoke. The roaming smoke is almost never to be expected. Most importantly, with Lagonis dying, that was the case that got surrendered. So Team 1 now picking it back up. They don't need to reposition all too much. Maybe a bit of shakes from Nath as he misses the drone. Immediately transfers onto Ali Mao. And he's also in a castle barricade to keep him a little bit safer. He doesn't need to worry too much about engaging here, but why the hell not? He's going to do it anyway. Swing to try and even the numbers out. Problem being, he's now left Saves all alone, potentially to die in the middle of the bomb site. Still time for Team 1 to circle the wagons and sharpen, but no! Saves missing the opportunity. Shotgun out. He'll have to reload the SMG, seeking shelter and safe harbor inside of the bomb site. He might have just heard the Maverick not too far off. Nitrocell against the wall as the diffuser getting planted by Levi. Saves will have to win this on a pixel as Levi completes the job, and the timer will start running. 40 seconds for this Na'Vi team to stave off a potential match point scenario. Through pillars, Saves will go. This is going to be tough for him to do. There will be a lot of angles to watch. He doesn't know where Levi is. Flying blind, and Team 1 now on map point.
So now, you're NAVI. You do not have a tactical timeout. You are now on match point, or map point, sorry. And if you lose this, you're then going to the 3rd map of Villa. You now need to do the same thing that Team 1 had to do on Oregon. You can lose this map because you won the first one, but if you can gain a few rounds, shut down your opponent, and put them in a worse mental state going into 3rd map, you're alright. But if Team 1, they keep continuing up this trend of domination on Kafe, NAVI, you have to question what will he be able to do on Villa. Doki had a rough game so far. I want to see him back being aggressive. Want to see him back on the entry because that's one of the biggest reasons why Oregon went the way it did. Villa, a map where there is more mobility involved than Kafe, where you're more often stuck in corners and you're playing that utility game. That seems to be NAVI's weakness so far. The utility game, both on the attacking side of clearing it, wasn't particularly amazing. Using it on defense, now we finally see the mirror on this top floor defense. Now we can try and see, well, NAVI, they couldn't really attack against this. Can they defend it, however? Because they should. If not, well, that's it. You go Villa, you go next. It's map point.
Well, this has been even more one-sided than we saw on Oregon. For those of you that didn't tune in, you might look at the top of your screen. The UI does change, by the way, but the banner at the top shows that NAVI has won a single map. It certainly looks like Team 1 is going to do the same thing. This is NAVI's map. The decider is Villa. The Italian countryside will potentially give NAVI or Team 1 the victory. Comeback potential for NAVI still exists. I want to say this because we had almost written off Team 1 on Oregon, but then they mounted quite an impressive comeback. It fell short, but it was still there. Anything can happen at the 6 Invitational. Anything can happen in regular pro play, but at the event with the highest stakes, with the best teams in the world, we have seen pretty close to miracles happen. There was almost a reverse sweep one time that ultimately fell short, but I mean, that was many years ago, Nick.
Yep. Different time of age in Rainbow Six Siege, and honestly, it feels like a different lifetime ago as well at that. Nowadays, the way Rainbow Six Siege is played is at a much higher level. The players, the organizations, bigger than ever, better than ever, and honestly, people are putting in so many hours, practicing so much to compete at this level. It's why when unfortunate things happen, like a player can't attend, or a player has COVID, or somebody gets taken out early like Blur, it sucks to be a fan of those teams because you don't want the team that you cheer for to be the team with a disadvantage, the team to lose. And right now, if you're a NAVI fan, you need to pray for 3rd map because because right now in the second one, it's looking really dire for them. Minute and 40 seconds left. 5 versus 4. A limo deep inside of library. He can do some damage with that bug verticality, and it seems to be like oNe will support him for just that.
NAVI being down 1 certainly doesn't mean that they have a good shot at just holding out hope of this round. There is a beating coming for them either way. They're still very possible to win the round, but... Carl, are you okay there?
He got it.
Carl, he got it. The buck down below is going to be a major hindrance for this defense of NAVI, tearing through the floor as best as he can. Oh. And there goes KDS, though. So Nath roaming down below. He knows the buck is in reading, tries to get back to the top of the stairs. Levi shuts him down, but not before Alimau is picked off by Secretly. The teams stand at an even 3v3. Levi creeping up towards back bar. There is an SAS operator in the hands of Saves, the smoke, watching from that angle. I think there was a grenade that went off to damage Secretly, but I'm not sure. He lost half of his HP. 40 seconds left with Team 1 on match point. NAVI have their work cut out for them. They need to be patient as all can be. Too much patience from Team 1 means they lose the round. The objective is always in the hands of the attacker, and if Team 1 don't know where to go, then they'll end up losing out, not because of anything that NAVI does, but because the clock strikes 0. Levi still waiting for the call. A flash will go out. Lagonis has diffuser. He has to drop. Where will he drop, though? Doki swings, another drop down. Lagonis frags out on the Secretly. As you have both Saves and Doki in a 2v2 with Lagonis now planting the diffuser. Neskin will cover. He misses his opportunity. Doki will now be able to cross. Where is Saves? The smoke goes off. Lagonis being able to get the diffuser down, and now Doki is dropped. A heroic effort from Neskin to take one down. Spam marks for Saves, as he knows there's one there, but they have dropped down below by pillars. Both of them are down there. A missed opportunity again from Saves. This is the story from NAVI. Lagonis repositioning with 1 HP. Neskin down below. On the diffuser is Saves. Do they know he's there? They'll creep up, but they can't shoot in the right direction. Saves is there, an elbow, spotted for a second, and NAVI gets it because of a big blunder from Team 1, and NAVI stays alive.
Team 1, it seemed like they thought, you know what, when this bomb goes down, we win the round, it doesn't matter. Lagonis survived with just 1 HP, jumped out the window into safety, but at the same time, Neskin dropped over the ledge down into pillars. There was no grenades left, no softies from Sophia. They could have gone back onto the skylight, dropped down, tried to play that angle, could have gone back on that window rappel, rappelled in, baited out for time, but no, both of them just stayed right below. The floor wasn't broken that well, and they did not have an angle. They could not find their shot, and Saves on the smoke with SMG-11 somehow, some way gets away with the round by just holding F and holding on and praying for his life that they will miss on that floor bang. 3 rounds now from the side of NAVI, as they have won 1 basement defense on their very first one, then they lost reading, then they won the top floor defense. Now we're back on first floor, back where it started, back where they started getting rounds on the board. Can it do it again? We got the same lineup from Team 1. We got the Nomad, we got the Ace, we got the Buck, we got the INM, we got the Maverick. It is the side of NAVI that has been doing most of the flexing so far, but they too are playing a similar fashion as they did the last time around. They got again the Bandit. They want to make sure that if they go for direct attack, the Maverick has to be used. They want to slow down the possibility of an Ace going for those walls, and it makes sense, but previously, Team 1 did not care about Bakery in particular. They went for a top floor down roam clear into a backside hatch drop and VIP take. So, when this setup comes out from NAVI, it doesn't necessarily favor what happened last time, but that didn't matter because last time, they were the winners. So Team 1 has to respond.
Why do you think it is that Team 1 stalled out in the final 45 seconds of that round? Because it certainly looked like they lacked a clear direction.
I think they were setting up, and you kind of spoke about it when you were commentating as well, where they were waiting for the call. They wanted to ensure, because there's a clear cut on the side, they had 1 guy skylight, 1 guy... Saves.
Oh.
You're supposed to be penetrating the wall passively. You're spawn peeking Levi on the Nomad. This is actually huge, Parker, because now Doki can walk up the staircases and get kills. So this will make Team 1's job significantly harder once they clear the map, because they'll have to be actively on 3 different staircases. But Doki gets a little bit too aggressive, and KDS trades it back. 4 versus 4 on match point.
The story of Icarus, you fly too close to the sun and your wings burn right off. And Doki, in that particular instance, did his best Icarus impression. He hesitated for a second. I don't know why or what the reasoning was for it, but you're correct. If Levi is down, you've lost your best flank watch operator, an operator whose whole kit is designed to shut down the flank. But that doesn't mean that flank watch ends. It likely means that somebody from Team 1 has to fulfill that role. Yeah. It also means that a player who is designed to do something else during the execute is now taken off of that spot. That weakens the overall impact that you can have when you go to get the diffuser planted and completely changes up the way that you have to go about attacking the site. The benefit of taking out Levi immediately negated by Doki dying.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Doki not go for that peek, seeing as she had the advantage. Let's say the roles were reversed and Saves had lost the gunfight against Levi. I think it makes good sense for Doki to try and even it back up, go all in, and is Blur just proning and dining? Blur is literally, he's sitting next to 2 people. He's doing the same thing in an Oregon,
not again.
on the floor. They're just approaching. They have no idea.
Zen-like patience, Nicholas. Zen-like patience. He sits there and they'll just walk away. They don't see him. They don't see him. Team 1 now. This is.
He's right next to him.
Oh, hello?
He sees him.
His legs are right there. Hello? He's still there. Why are you not looking? Hello? What the hell was that? I am just astonished.
XD from Doki in chat. That body's in this game
what are we witnessing? KDS gets 1, 2 even from KDS. This matchup is upside down. Saves with his second kill, 20 seconds to go. Lagonis drops into Freezer in the midst of the smoke, but he dodges away from it. He has the diffuser in hand. Ali Mao now getting his life ticked away, same with Lagonis. Saves with a Nitro Cell. He could potentially get both of them, but he needs to play this correctly. They're underneath the default. The Buck is there to watch. Shrugging off damage, he takes out Saves, and Ali Mao swings to give his team the victory. The Buck saves the day. What an absolute puzzling conclusion. But Team 1 stick the landing. They take Kafe 7-3, and Villa is up next.
Oh boy. So back in the day, when you killed an opposing operator or somebody from your team died, the dead body would